created equal. From the chains of chattel slavery to today, we exist in debt slavery. We are engaged in a great class war, testing which class can decide the history of the American civilization to set our new path forward to continue our civilization's history. To end the chains of debt slavery. As Abraham Lincoln said in his Gettysburg Address, it is for us, the living, but rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who have fought here that must so far nobly advance. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they have gave the less full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. I didn't add myself to the stage. Hello, everyone. I'm Joey, as y'all guys know. I'm just deciding to go live for no fucking apparent reason. I have 30 minutes I'm giving myself to go live real quick, fuck around, find out. Before what is to be done, we have an exciting interview going on over there. So definitely come check that stuff out tonight. But with that all being said, though, like I said, this is going to be a short, quick live. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, to be honest. I just wanted to fuck around and go live. I have the studio to myself, so why the fuck not, right? Drinking a little bit of some highly caffeinated tea made of some herb that I've never heard of previously, and I can't remember to even tell you what the name of the herb is now. But it's good. It's super caffeinated. It's got me a little uppity. Another reason why I'm streaming in advance right now. But it's a good caffeine. It doesn't have the crashes that like a Red Bull or a Monster Energy is gonna have, you know. But yeah, look. If you guys don't already realize, I'm actually in New Jersey. I moved out here. How long ago was it? I want to say I came out here. I'm trying to find my zins or zones, whatever. I came out here about 2-3 months ago, plus or minus. New Jersey's up to some exciting work. I wanted to get involved, so here I am. I'm here, and let me tell you, between syntropic farming, which is a big deal, that's a thing that's happening here in New Jersey. We just started reaching out to various different communities that have not been properly represented. We got chapter enterprises that are up and growing. Look, big things are happening in New Jersey. I'm excited to be here in this state doing this kind of work because let's just be honest, this is the kind of stuff that we need right now in this country. We need full process or whole process democracy is it's referred to in China, which includes providing economic sovereignty, food sovereignty, and a lot of that starts with our own party, but also that starts with giving these things to these communities, building with them, actually, you know, doing the social investigation to figure out what these communities actually need. So it's been a very exciting process heading out here into New Jersey. Got to get a nicotine pouch in my mouth because we need that nicotine juice flowing. If you don't already realize, I am the main representative of the tobacco lobby, but I don't represent big tobacco. I represent little tobacco. No one talks about little tobacco, okay? No one talks about little tobacco. We're going to make the small tobacco farmer great again. That does not have the same ring to it anymore. Anything that make it great again. It doesn't have the same ring. Let's just be honest. Donald Trump is destroying MAGA as we fucking speak. Has destroyed MAGA. It isn't the movement that it was in 2016 or even 2020 at this point. At Zionists in the fucking administration. We look, New Jersey, we're seeing it right here, right now. ICE, Gestapo, fucking, rounding people up. They were on hunger strike apparently up in Newark, and now they were getting beaten, from my understanding. That's what I've heard from some sources. Look, I mean, you don't think this stuff is coming to you just because you're not Latino. Or you're an American citizen or whatever the case might be. I got bad news coming for you. I mean, like, this stuff is pretty freaking real. Now, I'm not calling for leftist adventurism. That is not the solution. No, the real solution is to build dual power. We have to build our own system under the nose of those in power. And by going through this mechanism, we're actually using the Constitution and the laws of this system against the system itself. And that's involved by building businesses, worker co-ops. If you dare to say co-op vanguardism for a while, for example, as Wade likes to talk about here in the New Jersey chapter. Look, this is the kind of power that we really need to freaking build. We need economic sovereignty. We need food sovereignty. We need energy sovereignty. We got to build our own infrastructure from scratch. And here's the good thing. We actually have access to the means of production within the context of U.S. imperialism in the 21st century. A pretty big deal. So that's a responsibility the American Communist Party has really taken up. There's definitely different paths and speculation of how we're going to do that. But that's what we're doing over the Applied Theory Network, is we're applying the theory, and seeing if, hey, are our ideas good? Are they bad? We're going to find out through practice. And, if they're good, we write that down. We, take a second look at it. If it's bad, we write that down. We take a look at it. And look, no matter what the circumstance ends up being, we adapt and we change. What was it that Vladimir Lenin said? Going to probably absolutely slaughter the quote. But he did talk about basically if the material conditions change in 24 hours, your tactics change in 24 hours. So look, this is what also, Kim Jong-il specifically talked about in the Juche idea. It's a process that you have to go through. You apply the theory, you see what the conditions were when you applied it, and then you go back and then you change the theory based on those conditions, and then you go back and apply the theory again with this new understanding. So this is really what it gets down to. We have to learn how to be adaptive. We need to learn to be okay if something doesn't work out. Like, if something doesn't work out and we fail, that is a process of learning. I mean, this is the same kind of thing that people who try to teach, like, how to live in your personal life, right? It has a particular name, but it's lost to me at the moment. The people that try to, show you the ropes of how you try to change your life for the better, they understand if you get knocked down, you get back up. So, look, that is the process of building dual power, is that there is going to be some mistakes that are made, and you got to be able to be ready to adapt to them. You need to be ready to actually fight to create a system, whether you succeed at first or you fail at first. And you got to, just have to accept it. That is actually one of the failures of all of the previous other communist organizations, is that they just don't adapt to failure. They just continue to go down a continuous circle of the same actions over and over and over and over again. And where's it gotten these parties? I mean, I'm not going to name names here, but you guys can, put two and two together here. These other parties, these other organizations, these self-proclaimed communists, these collectively self-proclaimed communists, if you will, they don't actually adapt to the conditions. Some of them don't even do social investigation before they go and do a thing. They just, all right, I'm going to go out here. I'm going to go help the Starbucks baristas organize their union, and yeah, this is totally going to work. We're going to build power. Fuck the truckers. And where has that gotten them? Nowhere. And look, it's not even the fault of the fucking baristas. Look, a lot of people are just out here trying to figure out how am I going to survive? How am I going to, afford to take care of my family, or afford to pay back my student loans, or afford to, live in a society that is encircling around us. So, these service workers, all things considered, I don't hate them. A lot of them are good people. I might, have problems with, the fact that they're metastatic labor, but that's not to their fault. That's to the fault of the system itself. It's the fault of us sending all of our factories overseas. But that's the advantage we have because all of our factories have been sent overseas. We've been deindustrialized. So through reindustrializing, using our party to build all these different chapter enterprises, that's how we're going to be able to build dual power. At least that's a speculation. If we turn out to be wrong, and we very well could be, we will adapt and change to those conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how that works. If you're unwilling to change and adapt to those material conditions, you ain't going nowhere. You're just not, simple truth. But yeah, look, like I said, a little short live. Had no idea what I was going to talk about when I came on here. Going to be in here for about 20 or so more minutes, plus or minus. Look, a lot of good things happening in New Jersey right now, like I said. And, it's not just New Jersey. I've been seeing some great work coming out of Michigan in particular. Those guys building greenhouses and stuff. Like, I understand they have a few other chapter enterprises that are doing really good work. Look, Michigan's out there doing really good work right now. Florida. Yo, Howard, my man. Brother, I have never seen you smile more than that last video you all put out in the Florida chapter. And it's because you guys were just serving the community. That's what it is. You just posted on X. But as soon as you start serving your community, you're out here like, real shit, bro. Really proud of the Florida chapter. In all seriousness, they got something going on. They got their own gym down there. They're out there training. They've been going out to the Everglades and, doing a little training exercises and learning how to deal with the natural environment that they have out there in Florida. All power to Florida. Like, in all seriousness, I fucking love what I see coming out of the Florida chapter. Absolutely brilliant. Keep up the good work. What else? I mean, we all know fucking California, which, hey, tonight, one of the people that we're going to be interviewing is the guy who put out the Epstein effigy video over in ACP, California. He's the guy who directed it and all the stuff. I think he filmed it as well. We're going to be talking to him coming up in a little bit less than an hour. So I better tune in to see that. And we're also got Austin, speaking of Michigan chapter, is also going to be coming on. And they're coming on talking about media. What is media strategy for, the ACP. It's really important to have a solid media strategy because look, it's the 21st century, man. Look, this is how you get information out there. This is how you fight information warfare. I mean, Haas said it himself. This is an information war, and you got to be on media. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. A little part of me is a little bit sick and tired of the media shit. Kind of been doing this for a while, okay? Well, I mean, I'm no Jason O'Rue, but I've been on the fucking internet for the last few years. I've been fighting this media game for a minute. It's a little tiring, I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't matter. For me, my long march is through fucking media. I'd rather be working on the fucking homestead. I'd rather be working in communities, trying to build food sovereignty, experimenting with new technology that could be utilized for chapter enterprises so we can have energy sovereignty and obviously financial sovereignty. I mean, this is the stuff I'm like, this is my bread and butter at this point. This is what I really want to do. But I got to do some media. So if I got to do some media, I got to do it. I got to fight this information war along with all y'all. We're all out there right now trying to figure out how do we reach the masses in the 21st century. Now, to be clear, media is not the only way you do it. In fact, media is only a part of that strategy. It's all about what you're actually doing on the ground. And here's the great thing. When you're doing stuff on the ground, you have content to film to put on the internet. It is a system that is integrated into each other. That's basically what you need to start looking at. How can I start connecting everything? We got media, we have social organizing, we have chapter enterprises, we have union organizing, we have worker co-ops, we have agricultural rural strategy. You gotta connect all of these things together. You gotta mesh them together, right? And by meshing all of these things together, it becomes a lot easier to do it all as one unit, right? Because you're tackling bam, 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 all these fucking different things and one shot by integrating your strategies together. So look, that's what we see New Jersey doing. That's what we see California doing, Florida, Michigan, all these great states doing all these, different chapters and different states doing great work right now. A lot of them are, looking at 5-year planning, which is a big thing. Look, you got to have 5-year plans. I mean, it doesn't matter if we do not have dual power yet. It doesn't matter that we're not in the helm of power. How do you think you get there? It's 5-year plans. We got to do 5-year plans. You got to figure out your business. You got to figure out your community organizing. You got to figure out your role strategy. You got to figure out your media strategy. You got to intertwine all of these different things that seem like they might be disconnected from each other and then connect them. Yeah, I mean, look, it's exciting stuff seeing what the ACP is doing. But here's the other great thing. For your personal life, when you're involved with the ACP, you suddenly find meaning and purpose for your entire life, because every single thing that you do, every social connection, that's all intertwined ultimately into your party work, even if it seems indirect, right? Because what you're doing is, when you're socializing in your personal life and all that stuff, you're networking. You're not just, hey, I gotta work my 9 to 5. You're not just, I'm going to this, social club that I've been a part of for a few years. It's not just, I'm, going grocery shopping, even as mundane as that might seem. Every single opportunity you have to network wherever you live and build community, that ultimately connects to the party work you might do. That is really an important thing. It's in some ways living your life day to day as social investigation to inspire and help you organize is a really solid strategy for everyday life. You know, it doesn't mean you don't do other social investigation, obviously. Look, and that's that social investigation, that is a key part of everything. You don't do social investigation, you're not going to succeed as a party or as an individual chapter. It's just, as I said earlier, you know, a lot of these parties do not do social investigation, and we can see where that has led them as a party. So, very important to do social investigation. But with that being said, you know, at the same time, social investigation isn't just a formal process, it's also an informal process. And that comes about through living your day to day life. You live by the party, you build by the party. And I'm not going to say you die by the party because you ain't dying. There's one rule I have: you're not allowed to die. Look, if you're watching this stream right now, if you're watching it in the future, watching the recording, you're not allowed to die. Number one rule, Joey. Number one rule. So you ain't dying by the party. You're not doing that. Illegal. Illegal. But yeah, another thing I will say, just like what's going on in my personal life, because a lot of people might not realize what's going on in my personal life. I don't talk about it as much as I used to, but I will say, you know, things are improving. Got these chapter enterprises going. A lot of good future things are going to happen with that. I'm not going to need any 9-to-5 job by that point. Not going to be stressing about money. But I will say, I'll be 100% honest with you. I need cigarette money. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. In all seriousness, what I need, if y'all would be so kind, a little financial contribution. Every cent goes to me not having to worry about money while I'm doing all this party work and all these other things. Now, that's not because, you know, I don't need it because of the party. This is just my personal thing. I'm not putting this as a connection to the party in any kind of way. But if you want to send me a financial contribution, I'm not going to stop you. So you have Cash App. You can send me a little financial contribution. Joey Shantz, money sign, Joey Shantz, all lowercase. You don't have to. No pressure. But you don't have the means to contribute, but you still want to try to support me. I do have a pinned post on X right now. Operation Yankee. That is my X account. And if you like to give it a little like, give it a little requote, as it's called today. It's not called a retweet anymore because it's not Twitter. You can do so. But no pressure. I need cigarette money. I'm kidding. No, but in all seriousness, folks, you're seeing a lot of good stuff from this party. If you find a means in which to try to contribute to party work and you're not in the party, please do so. Now, if you are in the party, what I strongly recommend is save your money. Use that towards chapter enterprises. Use that towards party work. Never going to say take a cent out of the party budget. So put that money where it's going to build community, where it's going to build workplace organization, union organization. Put that towards chapter enterprises. Put that towards community service. Put that money where it actually belongs. That's what you need to do. Now, with that all being said, folks, I got maybe 10 minutes more I could stream. But I'm just going to leave it off as is because I'm going to give myself a little bit more leeway just to make sure that we have the best stream coming up on Applied Theory humanly possible. You guys are fucking awesome for watching this. I will see you all later. Peace out.
All men are created equal. From the chains of chattel slavery to today, we exist in debt slavery. We are engaged in a great class war, testing which class can decide the history of the American civilization to set our new path forward to continue our civilization's history. To end the chains of debt slavery. As Abraham Lincoln said in his Gettysburg Address, it is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who have fought here must so far nobly advance. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they have gave the less full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died